Cool.
Yay!
Whoop, whoop.
There you go, you did, guy. Did a great job.
I'll put the stream on. The music might be on at the start, but I'll make sure I turn it straight off.
What music?
The actual, yeah, there we go. All good.
No, we're good. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to yet again another edition of the Jedi Academy, the show where we put a bunch of people together that think we know what we're doing about this game and have somewhat of a clue, and in which we don't. If you look at the two potato heads in front of you right now, it's not we're not constructive or helpful in any way.
No.
But what we try to do is answer your questions about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, the mobile game brought to you by Capital Games. I am your host with the most, the man with the plan, Ranger J 1999. Joining me is the blender from down under, the one and only, the galactic legend, Hoinsey.
Good morning, mate. Good
Good
morning.
morning.
How is everyone?
Yeah.
Great to have you here. Yeah, pretty full on week or so, hasn't it, bro?
It's
Really has.
been a very busy week. Yes.
Mm.
We're gonna get into it. So if you're new to the show, welcome. I'll say I'll knock out some mechanical stuff here just so we can get to how this stream works and everything. So this is an interactive stream. Bring it on a panel. You have questions. It's a straight Q&A show. So the way it works, if you want a question answered by myself or someone on the panel or just in general, all you have to do is follow it's very simple, Heinze, what we have to do.
It
here.
is. It is. Even I could do it. That's that simple.
That's how crazy simple this is.
Yeah.
All you need to do is put your question into the chat. However, with the caveat, there's a format that we use because there's a lot of people throwing a lot of question statements in the chat. We have a filtering tool and called Nightbot. And if you would like your question answered, make sure you put the word question in front of your actual question statement. You'll see examples of it during the stream, but make sure you put the word question for your actual question statement because we use the filtering word for the filtering tool, and that is question. So it's real simple. Now, if you don't follow that format, we're most likely not going to see your question. All right. And then the other thing is it does behoove you to get them in sooner rather than later, just as a precaution, because we've had some streams where we've actually gone even over an hour or a normal 2 hours. And let me tell you, we still didn't get to all the questions. It's rare, but it does happen. So just giving you guys a heads up of like how everything will go. So get your question in. Get them in sooner rather than later. Make sure you put the word question for your actual question statement. The other thing is please hit the thumbs up. Subscribe. It does support the channel and the content that we're putting. If you like the content that we're doing, like this, the Jedi Academy and other content, show your support. You can, and if you really want to get our attention and support the channel, besides doing all those previous things, you can do super chats. That's always welcome, and you can get your question definitely answered sooner. And if you really like the content, you can become a Patreon sponsor. $5 about a month. I mean, I tell you, it keeps content creators going. It's very nice to have Patreons.
100%.
Yeah, Heisey has like the entire continent of Australia. So I mean,
I wish. No, all the support helps a lot.
yeah,
It really does.
It does.
It's
yeah, and we'll let everybody pimp their stuff for these other awesome guests.
yeah.
You can go check out their stuff and support them as well with the same kind of zest and zeal that you do for this show. So.
Mhm.
All right, we and Heinz are still trying. Well, Heinz is he's been awake. I am just waking up, but we're both tired. We're a little worn out.
Yeah.
My goodness gracious, Heinzie, what a week it has been.
Yeah, look, it has. Can we cover quickly what Nightmare has obviously put in chat? Obviously, it's the anniversary of 9/11 over there a few days ago.
Yeah, I hadn't got to that. I mean, I was going to when we had a little bit more guests on.
Absolutely.
But
I actually did from the other side of Australia. I actually remember exactly where I was when I found out what was going on. It was quite, horrifying, scary, and unbelievable for us at the time as well. I was actually at Mrs. H's parents' house. We hadn't had a house yet 20 years ago. And I remember sitting there in the, it was about 10 a.m., I think our time roughly on a Saturday. Hadn't gone to work and woke up and it's like something's going on the telly and you got to come and have a look. It's like, okay, like, sure. And then next thing we see everything going around with the towers and it was a very horrific sight at the time for us as well. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we remember all the victims of 9/11, but I remember everybody who's an American remembers this one vividly. It's like my mom's generation. She remembers exactly what the day, even to this day, like where she was when JFK was shot, right?
Yeah.
And when that happened and stuff. So, but I remember I had just got done. I was still in the army. I was very much still in the army.
Yep.
And had just gotten done with working out, and my wife had gone to work, and I had just taken a shower. I came out of there, and then I always had the news on in the morning, and I wasn't really paying attention to the news. I was more about like, is there anything interesting happening? Okay, there's not. Okay, and then I was literally in a towel, and I came out, and I was just kind of cooling off, drinking some coffee, and I wasn't really paying attention, and then all of a sudden my phone started blowing up from my command and telling me to not come in, to get into civilians, that because then I looked on the TV and it was right after, because I heard something about a plane hitting the tower, but I hadn't really looked at it yet. I'm like, well, that's tragic, I had to check that out. But I had some other stuff, I had soldiers to take care of at the time. So I immediately did that. My wife started, because they saw it at her office, it was crazy that day. So I immediately I didn't go into, it took us about, I got into civilians, and then we were waiting. And so, I mean, it was just a panic day that day. And I actually had weapons, I grabbed my it's
actually mine did that recently too. Mine's been doing that for the last couple of weeks.
But yeah, I'm sorry, I just got that message. But yeah, I mean, I immediately was armed and loaded in civilians, and we didn't understand what was happening. Then you heard the Pentagon was hit, and that was even a bigger deal for me, because that's that's our command and control area for this. So it was incredible. I mean, it just was a day that just. Unlike any other I've ever experienced, and everybody has a different experience for it, there's so many stories. It wasn't just New York, it was also Washington, D.C. It was also, we forget about the plane that was taken down by the passengers.
United 93, wasn't it? I think, if I'm right.
Yep, 93, and that was the one that crashed. And because of 9/11, I mean, it sent the U.S. in a total different direction in our lives. I mean, we went to Afghanistan, we went to Iraq. It caused us to totally change the game of like everything. So it affected us personally, in our daily lives. And then being in the military, I saw the immediate switch. So, yeah. So we will never forget 9/11 20th anniversary. So, yep. Good point. Yep. So now we're waiting for the other guests to get on, but they haven't had their coffee yet, or croissants, or whatever they, wherever they're eating, or their spread. So I was so tired, I didn't even want to get up this morning. I was like, I don't even have coffee. But I'll get some afterwards. I've been helping my mom she's redecorating, and by redecorating, all the old furniture is going out and all new furniture is going in, and so she doesn't buy shit cheap, and
lots of flat pack stuff. Is there lots of flat pack stuff?
God, man, I have been putting together so many cabinets, shelves, moving stuff, doing this. It's an unreal, and we're only halfway done. Because at the same time, and I understand why she's doing it, you get everything out of the room you're working on, you clean the carpets, you do everything, and
Hmm.
then you bring everything new in, and then it has to be done a certain way. And
Oh, absolutely. Always has to be done a certain way.
I'm so
Yes.
sore. I told her, I says, I'm not doing shit today. We can hit it tomorrow, but I got too many streams and too much stuff going on. I need a break because I've been streaming. I know you've been busy streaming too,
Yeah.
and stuff because we've had a lot we've been dealing with, which we need to talk about. Heinzie, Conquest, man. I
Mm.
haven't ranted in a long time where I dropped
Yep.
an F bomb.
Yep.
But I did on the Wednesday night stream. I Conquest, man. I mean, and this is coming from. I think both you and I are in the same position, right? We are going
Yep.
to get the red box.
Yes.
For us, this is not like we're being denied or anything like that. Like if we're but I'm trying to see this from all sides. And we were constructive. I just was pissed. I mean,
Yeah.
there are some things of Conquest that I like. I like the data disk. I think they've done a really good job at that. There were some other things that I mentioned that I think, hey, these are really good. And it wasn't
Mm.
just me ranting. It was also me saying, this is the solutions. Like
Yeah.
like the energy, that's a big one. If you're going to
Yeah.
increase the number of feats, fine. We'll talk about feats if you want, but you've got to bring energy to, one, not be on the timer of Cantina. That's just too slow to get it back.
Yes.
And two, you need to be giving us at least like a 45 like you do for the other ones where we get extra energy for the players. We'll still have to spend some crystals and stuff, but at least it's a nice gesture to say, hey, we're not just, the perception is not that you're just trying to hose us out of crystals and make it really difficult in that sense.
Yeah.
That's not fun. That does anything but just people think that you just are just trying to be, mean, and
Yeah.
so, especially if they're free to play, so there's a lot we can talk about with Conquest. There's a lot to talk about. We got the new Lord Vader kit. There's been a lot
Yeah.
of discussion about that. So, I mean, what's on your mind there, Heinzie?
Oh, mate, look, I think you covered a lot of it, Ranger. You really have. You've saved me a lot to talk about.
But you have your own thoughts on this. I mean, there's plenty of stuff we can say at Conquest. I mean, when you look at Conquest, what's what are your concerns? What do you like? What do you don't like? What do you think? The good, the bad, and the ugly from Heinzie on Conquest.
I think we all agree that Conquest was getting quite easy. I think there was definitely a stage there for the last couple that, I mean, even myself, I was knocking it out in 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
And it was to the point where there wasn't enough of a challenge, where we know that it was geared originally to be a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
The retooling and re-engineering of what they've done, I don't think has added anything to the challenge aspect. I think it's just added to the time sink aspect, and I don't think that's a good thing.
No, it's real. That's the biggest thing, is that I think they just went from one extreme to the next. They went way too far with it, because it should be a game mode that is challenging, but it should be up to the players on how much time they want to spend on it, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And that's the biggest thing. I think that's the biggest turnoff that I've seen from players, and why so many are quitting. It's like, if I want to stay competitive, if you're free to play, you may care, you may not care. It just depends, right? So I've talked to a lot of free to play. They're like, I'm not going to get it. I don't care. I'll get it eventually. This is my mentality. But those that have really invested in this, it's insane the amount of time it takes to do Conquest. You have to do it every day, and you have to commit a bunch of time, and a lot, even Krakens. We've been talking about, Heinzie, how many big time spenders have just quit because they are like, I'm tired, I can't do this anymore. This is not a second. This feels like a job to them. And that's, I think the time sink has been really bad, and I can feel it because I've been doing. You have to do Conquest every day unless you go super whaley Kraken, but even then you're still going to be spending an ungodly amount of time doing it. It's the time thing is a big problem.
100%. I mean, you touched on some of the larger spending players, and what we mean by that is, as Cubs did a great video actually with our boy Nemesis. I know Nem really well.
Oh,
I was
yeah,
actually his guild leader for a long time.
Really good video.
I know Nem really well, and look, he's not alone. I mean, we speak to a lot of different people around the community. That's just what we do. We just end up doing that just with the people that we talk to, our friends.
Just
they really are. and a few of them I know have spent over $100,000 in this game.
Yeah,
and they are doing a few different things. One of them is seriously contemplating walking away because he's had enough, and putting his account up for sale. The other person that I know of that I'm going to mention today, and I'm not going to say his name, is actually paying someone else to do Conquest for him.
Yeah, I know. I've had some. Yep.
There's a lot of that. There really is, and I think that once we get to a position where, it's not. It's too grindy, and I've used that word forever in the last few weeks. It just feels like a real grind and a time sink. I don't think we need that right now. I think that they've been really kicking some good goals lately. The events they've been releasing visually have looked fantastic.
Yep.
The kits, we've had a few little bugs, but we've had worse ones than what we've had recently. Definitely. They're just little touch-ups and adjustments. I mean, there were some of the first Galactic Legends that came out, if you remember, Ranger were just like really bad.
Yeah.
Like they needed a lot of adjustments. These things here, there's slight little minor tweaks to AI mainly. So I think that there definitely are some positives there. The data discs are pivotal in these conquests now. They really are. If you get a really tough run with data discs, you are going to struggle. And that's there's no way or mean about it. And there's nothing you can do to improve that situation. You need to be really, really careful and really selective on your data discs. You need to look 3 steps ahead and see what data discs are ahead when they're available to be viewed so that you know which direction down the board you need to move.
Yeah.
That is really, really important.
Another thing is, that you can knock out some of these challenges if you pick the right Jawa, that will have like the frenzy thing and, that you can put on and stuff. It's stuff like that. You're just like, damn, it's these little things, but they add up, oh goodness.
But to be fair, I mean, if you're anything like me, Ranger, and a lot of others out there, you would have seen the Jawas in a lot of cases. You would have got around them because you would have been hunting different data disks or something else.
Yeah.
Quite often, I just didn't open those Jawa nodes. We just didn't. You need to now. You need to find a frenzy node. You just need to.
Yeah, I'm doing. I'm trying to do it without it. It sucks. It really
it's terrible.
Sucks.
I saw it by chance. I just scrolled back because I didn't even see that feed at the time until later on.
Yeah, you're not thinking about it.
I'd finished my run because I'm in the same strategy as Loki and I talked about. About a week or so ago, when he was on, and I go through. I just run through all the. Unlock them all, get them all done, and then go back and round out the feats later.
Yeah,
I'm just working from the sector 5 back down to sector 1.
Yeah,
and if you don't have that frenzy tech, you're up against it, brother.
Yeah,
definitely. You're gonna be wasting more crystals.
Yeah, it's sector 3. I mean, some of the things there's some. I mean, some of the feats I have no problem with. It's just because you could. It's like gain stealth 40 times, inflict stun 100 times. There's certain feats I'm like, okay, the ones that are factions that are factions. Oh, wait. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Look, everybody!
How you doing?
It's Mr. Warrior from Warrior Presents. What's going on, buddy?
What's up?
I'm about to say, is Warrior there? Is he safe? We are talking about Conquest, baby.
Nice.
Warrior. I mean, I think you're in the same. Interesting question. It's not so. You, me, and Heinzer, we're all high GP. We all have the teams. For me, I've been really disappointed with some of the stuff. There's some good things. We've been talking about those too, and we've been offering solutions. But for you, Conquest, I know you're a busy guy. For you, I know it's not a matter of you having the teams to do it. It is a huge time sink. So for Conquest, what are your thoughts, man?
Go hard.
Go hard.
It was all about going in, and every waking moment I had to just go in with a strategy And so what I did was I literally laid out a strategy. I said, okay, how many eggs can I crack with one team? I figured one team can do 4 feats. So that's the best team for these 4 feats. And so I'm going to do this one team, and I can get, this one team, I can run it 4 or 5 times, and then I'll come back tomorrow and do the rest of those feats. And then I need this other team, and I can run it 5 times to do this one feat. And then that's this section, right? And then I'm going to have a third team where I'm just going to run through the gauntlet. And so I had to do like basically a 3-pronged attack where I had one team that was just my clearing team, another team for most of the feats, and then another team for that stupid off feat that you have to kind of get. And then I ignored the main feats, those like 7 feats that they have that are kind of the overt feats. Those happen whether you like them or not. The only one you have to kind of go after is the Maulin Savage feat.
Yeah, and they just have to be in the team, whether
right.
So you can go in with a super powerful team, and they can die. Mine are like gear 10 or gear 11 and 8. And
exactly.
I'm like, oh, they died. I don't care. I've already got the stars. Yeah, I had to do the same thing. I had to like literally, and I've been doing it on the lunch stream religiously every day. I mean, it's been our main focus. Where I'm like, okay, this section, I mean, the Night Sisters gonna have to get that feat, but I can only do like 4 or 5. Okay, I'll do Geonosians here, and then clear everything, and then it's like I did a spreadsheet.
That was the
stuff.
thing. When I was going through, I saw, okay, Night Sisters is a feat for this level. So what's a team that Night Sisters beat? Okay, so they are really good against GG teams. Okay, well, there's a GG team here, so that's the one I'm going to use against that feat. But each level, I had to figure out what team can, for example, for Bad Batch, I had to figure out which team do Bad Batch melt. Can I use against them, or which team can, the Scoundrels be really good against, so I had to find a team that the team was good against on each level, so I could just repeat the cycle, which was really stupid because that was the whole point of why Conquest was dumb to begin with, because Conquest is fun. It's a really good time. The only part of Conquest that's dumb is you have to do some of the feats over and over and over. Right. And they said, oh, we're going to make it more fun. We're just going to make more repeatable feats you hate. It's like, how is this more fun? You just made it more stupid as far as the repeatable feats. You just created more. But that's the point. They didn't try to make it more fun. They just tried to make it harder for people to actually acquire the red box.
Right. And that's the thing. Like the ones where you have to do the same team over and over again. It's just repetitive. It's boring. It's not challenging. And it's not fun. And the problem, as you mentioned before, is like you can only do so much in a day. Unless you.
By the way, hi Heinzie.
Hey, how are you, Warren? It's all good, bro.
Yeah,
I heard you unlocked your Dudo on your live stream, so that's awesome.
Yeah, got Vader done.
We haven't even talked about Lord Vader
so,
yet. We're getting to
feeling pretty good, man. He's relic date. He's up and running. I got a couple of I'm 2 Zetas short on him. I didn't quite hoard enough Zetas, but that's okay. That's fine. If that's the biggest drummer I've got on.
That's why you fail.
Yeah.
Fair you do.
He knows my name, people.
Heinzie, a powerful dumbass he is.
Probably because he's been swearing at me. We're in the same guild and he's gone, oh, Heinzie's just that up again. Probably along those lines, I think.
Like this guy here, man. God bless America. I mean, jeez.
I love that you're a Relic 7 Fosters.
Yeah. Hey, look, it's OP. It has to be nerfed. But it's
not fair. It's not fair. It's pretty funny.
But so we'll transition into Lord Vader because I'm sure we're gonna get lots of questions on Conquest and all this other stuff. So for Conquest, we'll get to that subject back later. But Lord Vader, you got it, Heinzie. I'm sure. I don't know, where did you go for him immediately, or?
I did, and so this was my only hiccup, and so for anyone listening, maybe you guys will know this and figure this out, but when I came back to the game, I had no Galactic Legends, and so I had to play the ultimate chase, and so I was just like running, and I finally got caught up. But with this new guy, I had 3,500 energy saved up, plus the day of, I was able to buy almost 2,000 energy, and the very next day I was able to buy almost 2,000 energy. So I had like 7,500 energy, and I got them unlocked, but barely, like to the energy, like exact energy. Like I got exactly enough to where I had him unlocked. If I wouldn't have had one more energy, I wouldn't have been able to do it. And everyone was like, oh, well, how many dark side pieces did you have to start from the previous event? And I had none. And they're like, oh, you got to preload that crap. And I'm like, well, that's the thing. I didn't, because I was in a rush to get my ultimate for the last guy, for the last territory war, blah, 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 blah. So the pro tip is, before you get your last piece of your last ultimate piece, farm the hell out of the energy for that ultimate material, get it maxed out at 144, and then get that last ultimate. So you have 74 pieces, and then you're preloaded on, that's worth almost about 1,500 to 2,000 energy of farming in that dark side stuff. And that way that kind of gets you a leg up. And I didn't have that. And that really helps a lot. I mean, that's almost like having 1,500 energy conversion into those stupid, dark side pieces.
Yeah.
So.
Agree. All right. Thoughts on Lord Vader, Heinz? You got him unlocked and things?
Yeah, I only unlocked him yesterday, so I haven't used him too much in anger yet, to be honest. I only just got him to relegate a couple of hours ago, about 8 hours ago. So I now have him at the point where he's maxed out. But I'm not using him in arena. I just don't see him that useful yet until we get to Maul. He's going to be great for Conquest. I'm already using him for that. But yeah, it's certainly going to be better when Maul gets along. It's just not going to hold in arena for me. I'm still using Kenobi at the moment and will be for some time yet. But yeah, I think it'll be pretty solid. I think it'll be pretty strong later on. I like the kit. I like the names. The event is fantastic. Visually, it's incredible. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but when I saw Admiral Trench pop up in the first one, it's like, where the hell did this come from? This is amazing. So, they definitely got the event play style right. But yeah, I think, unfortunately, until we see Maul jump in, we won't know 100% how good he's going to be.
Right.
But that's going to be a while yet, guys. It's going to be probably November by the time we get Maul unlocked for the majority of people.
No, it's going to be way faster than that. And this is why Conquest was released extremely late. And they said that because of that, they're going to go back-to-back Conquests. And then they delayed the first one after they said it was delayed. So they're going to go back-to-back, and then they're going to already be behind schedule for the 2-week delay for the third one. So there's a chance we're going to go back-to-back-to-back on 3 Conquests, or there's going to be like a week lag in between them. So it's going to be 4 weeks straight, 1 week lag, and then another 2 weeks, or just 2 week. So we're either 6 or 7 weeks out. So we're at max about not even 2 months out from seeing Maul.
Yeah.
And that's gonna go really, really quick. So less than 2 months, and we'll see what Maul has to offer. But there's some key pieces inside of Vader's kit that says if you have an unaligned force user, reduction of 30% damage to the team. Like, we don't see that benefit right now. So the team's taking way more damage than they should because Maul's not there. So it's just, and people don't know how to mod yet because we're still trying to work stuff out. Like, is it better to put all health on Royal Guard because at the start of the encounter it doubles the health because his kit says start of the encounter, and then it doubles and he gets that 30% bonus health? Or is it because the protection doubles or gets converted at the start of battle? Should we do all protection? And right now everyone's mathing everything and trying to figure out, and then there's the other take, which is defense. Should we just do as much health and protection as possible, but try and do all defense because the new world in Relic 9 is defense. Should we try and get him into the 85% defense sets? Because at that point, with defense and the regeneration of health, and 85% defense, he's going to not even take damage. He'll literally just stand there and go, oh, You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
I mean, the math right now is making people's heads spin. So we're just at that point where, since Relic 9 is right around the corner, where Maul is about to be released, it's like, we don't even know. So between modding and Maul, and yeah, the next 2 months just remains to be seen.
Yeah, I agree. All right. All right, so that's kind of our thoughts. Now, again, this is the format, guys. You got to make sure you follow it if you want to get your question here on the Jedi Academy. You guys have questions, I'm quite sure, but if you want us to actually get your question, you have to follow this format. I get people all the time are like, I didn't get my question answered. That's okay, because sometimes you may ask a question that somebody's already asked and it's already been answered. That may give you the answer you're looking for, but you can see it in the chat. You have to put the word question in front of your actual question statement. If you don't, I'm just telling you, it's not going to go well, because I'm not going to see it. There are a lot of people in the chats, and there's a lot of conversations happening. So there's no way I can scroll and see it. So we use Nightbot as a filtering tool. Have to have the filtering word. So if your first word is not the word question, I am not going to see it. That's just the way it is, and I'm sorry, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. All right. That being said, let's start getting to these questions. I'm pulling it up now. And Nightbot's fighting me as usual because it's like, there's so many questions. Like, I understand. It's all right, Nightbot. We'll be fine. Let's see here. Darsign 1972 says, question for Heinze. Would you be more happy with Conquest if it was defeat 14 characters with Geos or smugglers, for example, instead of having to do 14 battles?
Yes. Absolutely. I mean, no one wants to go back and do 14 battles of the same team in the same lineup over and over and over again.
No.
And I could offset that by saying that if we need to do it this way, the 14 teams, then reduce the energy and we're going to refresh it anyway, but at least just reduce that energy a little bit just to take the pressure off, because it's just scaled too hard at the moment. Yeah. In my opinion. I don't know what you guys think, but I just think we understand that it had to be stronger than it was. It had to be more difficult than it was, but the skill isn't more difficult. It's just that the grind is more difficult.
Yeah.
And we don't want that.
No, not at all. Aramil, question. With the KOTOR remake announcement and the 10th anniversary of SWGOH in December, will we likely see any more or content in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes?
Aramil is the biggest KOTOR lover out there. I know him very well. Another Australian, so don't pick on him too much. I mean, there's no reason why we can't get a Galactic Legend Revan at some point down the track, right?
Sure.
Not right away, but I think that there's definitely an avenue for that. But yeah, what do you guys reckon? I think that's a given.
I mean, there is cycles to what SWGOH does. I mean, I'm sure you know this, Warrior, where stuff can be dictated by, because they work for Lucas, and there's other things that they're going to be told, like, hey, we've got the Book of Boba Fett coming up, there's going to be some characters and stuff from that and from these other television shows, just like we saw with season of Clone Wars. I mean, it's a possibility, but a lot of that stuff, usually it takes longer for that stuff, for other games to come into SWGOH than it is for the like the TV content or the movie content to come in. What do you think, Warrior?
So there was very little crossover from the other game, Battlefront. When Battlefront came out, there was a tiny bit, but it was very little. So there can be, but I don't see that. The only reason why I think that's valid, the Revan situation, is because there's just not a whole lot of Galactic Legend level characters, and if there was going to be one that would be worthy of that title, Revan is.
True Revan, baby.
There's a reason why they created 2 versions of him already, because he is a Galactic Legend. He really is. His story's epic. So I could see them building up to that, and then you requiring, both sides of his entire team on both sides, and this is the deal. Everyone that did that minimized how much they had to put into those teams, and one side needed more than the other, but they're going to require, like, by this time, like Relic 9s or Relic 8s, like 6 Relic 8s or 8 Relic 8s or whatever by then. And people only had them at like gear 12 for a lot of them, and couple gear 13s, and like 2 gear 13s. And I did it with only 1 gear 13, or, I remember on one side, I think we did it with just gear 12s. So it's like, we were minimalistics, when we did Revan back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I remember my free to play. So I just know that if they do it, it still require an investment for a lot of people to crank those bad boys up.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. True Revan was once upon a time when I asked Carrie that it was on something they were working on, and I was like, oh no, Wane. Oh, it could have been a thing. All right. Let's see here. Next question. Wait a minute, we've got another person join us. It's the sexy Buddha, Sir Loki. Loki.
His audio is not. It's playing up. He's setting his audio up, I think.
Well, there you go. Freud was right. All right. Darcyan 1972 question. Have the nerfs made light side GOTB more difficult? I had the worst phase 2 since it launched with my Jedi Knight, Luke, etc. Or did I just get bad RNG? I had no problems with. I went 4 for 4. The only one I had bad RNG was with the Rebels. I used it in the South. And got to the end, and Grievous went to town. He went bananas. It's like, God damn it. Damn you, Grievous. But that's the only one I didn't get. I was 3 for 4 on that one. But I didn't really... Gas was gas, and, especially with Kenobi, he made things easier. And, I did like I normally did. I got 4 for 4 everywhere else. So, I don't know. Did you see any difference? Or, because you can get bad RNG. I mean, that just happened with my Rebels. Just the way the turns went and things like that. But I didn't really notice anything in this phase 2 with gas or anything, or any of the other changes. Luke, I mean, the Jedi mission was easy peasy lemon squeezy. I didn't have any problems with that. You guys, anything? Toasty?
Same thing. I just noticed sometimes I go 4 for 4 with my Rebels, and then sometimes I get GG, and he's able to. I kill people too fast, and GG gets wound up too quick and kills my Rebels off. So I go 3 for 4 sometimes.
Anybody else?
Yeah. I only dropped the battle on the gas snips mission. I lost snips a bit early. I got caught out at the end there on the last wave, but yeah, I went 4 out of 4 on the rest. I had a pretty good run, actually. So yeah, I think you just had a bad day at the office, and with light side geo, I think we all agree, guys, we can all have that. It's not too difficult to get days like that, and I think you just had one.
Yeah, I just blame Finn. Loki, are you there yet?
Yes.
Are you safe? Are you alive?
Yes.
Oh my God. It's like I'm playing cards with my sister's kids here. Oh my God. God.
Good morning.
Well, hello. How are you, Sir Loki?
It's sleepy as hell, man.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm good.
Yeah, you were up late on the Gambit podcast last night.
Yeah, that was a doozy. That was fun.
Yeah, you guys had like a buttload of people on. I had it on the background, but I was so tired after doing GA Center and stuff. I was like, okay, I'm going to sleepy time. Okay, let's we'll get Loki with his questions and answers and stuff like that. So let's rock and roll. Let's see here. Nightmare question: do you feel the nerf to Vader was worth it? Now seeing him with Lord Vader. Darky Vader. I mean, it makes sense, right? Anybody thoughts on Lord Vader nerf now that they've seen with Lord Vader?
Could you imagine if they hadn't, and then he gets mastery increases
I know,
with Lord Vader? I mean, I put him back up to Relic 8, and he's almost 10,000 offense now, back up to Relic 8, and then put him under Lord Vader with mastery increase. His damage is 6. So I can't imagine if they hadn't done what they did.
Right.
You'd be putting Watt in that team. And it's just, that wouldn't even be fair. So I think they had to, for the health of the game, do what they did. I really do. It just sucks whenever they do something to a team that you enjoy using.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, you go.
No, go ahead, man.
No, you go first, Loki.
Oh, you're such a gentleman.
Thank you, sir.
Somebody say something, Jesus.
I was gonna I was gonna agree with Warrior, and then I was also gonna add like Thrawn, because now I get it. Imagine if Thrawn can still fracture GL, right?
Right.
And you ran that kind of a team, like Lord Vader, Thrawn, Vader, Piet, Royal Guard, or something like that. Like, I mean, that sounds pretty juicy. So makes sense now. And I agree with Warrior that Vader's hitting for like 500k again. Darth Vader, that is. So it's feels almost like normal, but not. But I get it,
Yeah. All right, Heinzie, what did you want to say, buddy?
Oh, that's all right. I was going to say that, I mean, the adjustments were made, and I think they're warranted for the use of Lord Vader. I personally would have still liked to have Lord Vader really solid against other teams. Darth Vader, old school Darth Vader now.
Yeah.
I would have liked him to, still use them against non-GLs and still wreck fools as well with it. Like, I'd like to see that saber being thrown and still be really, really useful in a standalone team. He's just been a little bit neutered when you don't use him with Lord Vader. If you got him, great. You're using him and he's doing the business. You need a Galactic Legend now to make him more useful. I don't like that. I think that really, if there was a way that somehow the kit could be adjusted so that Darth Vader himself, when he's not in a Galactic Legend team, is still quite powerful, I would prefer that myself.
Okay. Well said. All right. Let's get to the next question. Weddle73 question. Wouldn't it make sense for Tuskens to have the scoundrel tag, and would that improve and Relic 5 Raiders relevance at all? Would that improve Relic 5 Raiders relevance at all? I don't know. I mean, Tusken Raider, man, that gear's been poopy, man. Good lord, so much dinky pieces, so many Corbantes and stun guns. It just seems like it's a waste of gear, man. Because even at Relic 5, it's like, oh my god, I'm not gonna use that guy, man.
Yeah, but what's the reason you won't use him? Is because we don't have a full. Well, yes, but why is that though? And the reason for that is that there's only 3 of them, and we don't have a viable team to farm.
Yeah,
I mean, at least with Jawas, you've got 5 of them. Like you have a team you can farm that you do use in other aspects of the game. I know a guy, a couple of guys who have Relic 8 Tuskens, all 3 of them, and they're just begging for another 2. And I think now that you have to farm him up, maybe that's something that needs to be considered. At least it will make your investment worthwhile, and you can farm a team out of it instead of just having it as another Rose Tico. No offense, but you know where I'm coming from.
Yes,
I only use it.
Yes,
I only use it in the Rancor raid to get eaten. So, I think that give us 2 more and, get some more Maquis out there and at least give the Tuskens some viability.
Yeah.
Some use.
Man. But that's not the case right now. And it's like,
Yeah.
No,
absolutely.
No. It's just one of those things because I'm not immediately getting Lord Vader. I mean, I just looked at it. I just did Executor. I just did Kenobi. I spent a small fortune to get both those things going, and I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna take my time. It's a lot of relics. It's not that I don't have the relics. It's just I was looking at Tusken. I did the Bad Batch. They're all relic now, and I was like looking at Tusken Raider, like, you son of a bitch. Like I got all that. Like I'm just looking at you. I know those Corbanti and stun guns, and then when you get into gear 11 to 12, all those Cheddar comlinks and other dinky pieces you need. I'm like, you bastard. So I'm like, I'm going to just take my time. There's no rush for me to get Lord Vader, so I'll be okie dokie. I'm not going bananas on this one. All right, let's see here. Next question. Darsign 1972 question. My simple thoughts on Conquest. Conquest went from a fun game mode for everyone to enjoy, and now it's a competitive game mode to stay on top with to get new characters, ships. Well, yeah, but I mean, listen, my argument about this, like, even at lower GPs, say someone at 5.5 or 6 million gets this new stuff. There's still, especially let's say they're free to play. Okay, they got Ahsoka. They don't have JMK because they're not going for him immediately. It takes them a long time to get those characters to really make that team dynamic. Same thing with Maul. I mean, they're good in other teams. I mean, we know what Ahsoka can do with Padme, but I mean, there's got to be a balance. I think before we would get done too fast, maybe it was a little boring, but you know, it is what it is. But this went to the other extreme. I think they just need to pull back a little bit, and it'll be okay. I mean, it's it was.
I think what they didn't. I think what they didn't understand is we wanted to have fun. The mode was extremely fun. The only part that wasn't fun was the redundancy. I have to kill something with Night Sisters 10 times because then I had to go back to a node and just do 10 battles on one node. And that was the part that we didn't like. That was the only part we didn't like. The rest of it was fun. And then they didn't change. Everything was exactly the same from this conquest to the next conquest to the next. So let's create each conquest kind of unique. Let's create new cards. Let's create new battles. Let's create new feats. And then let's not make you have to fight this team 10 times. How about you create a list of 50 feats with you doing it like one time? You know what I mean? Like, and each one's worth 15. It sounds really tedious, but you'd get through them a lot faster. You'd have to use your whole roster, like, you know, do a battle with Tuskens. Like you may go, oh my God, that's horrible, but there's only 3. So you throw 3 in with a different composition, take them in or whatever, or, you know, your jaw was, you know, but the point was to use your whole roster. That wasn't really the case here, because at the end of the day, I still saw people posting that they had no GLs and they did the whole damn thing. So it just became a grindier grind. And it just got worse. They didn't actually make anything more fun than they intended. So it just became more lists of 10 battles on one node than we had already. That was the complaint to begin with, was the only part of it that we didn't like. And they just said, oh, well, let's just crank that up to 10 times.
Yeah. Certain feats I get, but then the other ones, it's like, it is. And it's the stamina issue that's really causing people to be like, damn, you know? So we'll figure it out eventually, I hope. So, all right. Let me see the next question here. Nightmare question. CG did awesome making Assault Battle assembleable now. How close are you guys to 3-starring tier 3 of the Night Sister one? Oh my sweet Jesus. I ain't even close. That's something that I will never, ever, ever, ever do. I just that challenge 3 of the Night Sister one, man. What's it like? 1 or 2 people have beaten it. Like, that's a unicorn. You can actually.
I actually got through the Sid phase for like the last time I did it or attempted it was I got through Sid, but then I lost to the next phase, which is Vader. Everybody forgets about that one. That dude is also on steroids, like how Sid is. So. That was heartbreaking because we're all thinking, oh, if I get through Sid, I can get through the rest. Well, no, because Vader's pretty bad too. And you just don't see him much because it's hard to get through Sid. So I stopped. I didn't even do it, honestly, just like everybody else. So no point.
Yeah. I mean, like, a lot of them I've got the challenge 3 done already. Quite a few. The Night Sister one. No, 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 Mr. Darth. I am not beating that thing, so I'm not even remotely grossly interested in that.
The question is, why, after this many years, have they not decided to either tone that down just a skosh or give us something that's going to improve it? Sure. You know what I mean? Because the last 1 or 2 nodes of that are, I mean, the second to last one is doable but almost not doable, and then you really got to have some good, you got to know what you're doing, mod them right, and have them maxed out. And then the last one is basically impossible. There's like 1 guy that's successfully completed it as far as the game shows. So really, after 2 years, 1 guy, and I think he probably used an APK hack. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know.
That's the first thing that we all thought, wasn't it? When we heard it, 1 guy completed, it's like, yeah, that sounds sus. Wonder if Lucifer's daddy had a bit of a look at that. I mean, it's just, one of those situations where it just seemed just too unachievable at this point. But if Relicate does come out,
you put the APK hack to like just barely enough to where it just barely helps you do it. So when they look at it, they're like, I don't know, he wasn't doing million damage. He's doing like, in the range of normal. So I guess it's okay, if you're smart about it. I don't know. If one human on Earth does it, he was cheating.
Yeah.
We're gonna flog him. He's a witch.
Great.
He's a witch.
But and how do we know that she's a witch? Not wrong. All right.
But would
go ahead.
relegate make that achievable though? Do you think? Like, if you relegate your sisters, do you think that will be achievable then?
I don't
No.
believe so, because there's a entire Discord channel dedicated to Night Sisters. I've visited them from time to time. A lot of them in there have an entire team of relegate Night Sisters modded to perfection, and none of them have been able to do it on the 3rd tier. They all can do tier 2, and they have strategy guides and everything on how to do tier 2. They take Antalya for the cleanse like immediately after. I mean, they got the whole strategy down, but it's impossible to them, and they've got like the whole teams are relegate and everything, and they know exactly what they're doing, and they can't do it. So I mean, relic 9 maybe, but the damage output's like 150,000 AoE, and then he immediately takes a second AoE for another 150 grand when he's clearing your entire team twice in a row. It's like, come on, dude.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Fair enough. Just curious.
Science.
Hadn't thought about it. That's all.
They need to give us the Phoenix that are in Conquest, and I think they can
my
do it.
God.
Yeah, they go 150 times. That would be great.
Those,
Mhm.
they're
Yeah.
nasty. Ooh boy, especially like think about it. You get to Sector 5, you're like, wait a minute, my Phoenix, no. So all right, next question. Lorelei Phoenix, hey guys, question: what is the best leader for the Mandalorian feat? Good question.
Hey, Laurie. Mandalorian feat. So I've been doing BAM lead. So I assume we're talking about the one where you've got to use all kill as many Mandalorians. Yeah. So I've been using BAM lead. Because his AoE is just brilliant. I've got him at relic 8. So he just wrecks fools. So I've got BAM lead, Mando, Armorer, and then I've been using Candyman because I got him at relic 5. And Django. And that's been pretty fun. I've been throwing it against stuff like Phoenix and things like that, and that's just been absolutely destroying them.
Nice.
I have
It's
a
been
team.
getting the stagger feat done too.
You have a team. Okay.
I have a team. Treya lead with Bam, and that's pretty much it. 4 Mandos. So you go up against a Geo team, and then the Geo team kills themselves, and then you do whirling bird or whistling birds, and then you can get all 6 kills with because the Geos will kill themselves. And
I like that team a lot.
That's a gold mine right there for the Mando feat. We did stream the other night, Heinzie. So I think the whole thing about I don't know, the way I look at Conquest right now is you got to find that one team that gets like 4 to 5 feats all done at the same time. Yeah. And then it's a lot more fun. So that was fun doing theory crafting the other night. Yeah.
We had a ball. That was really great.
You got like what, 100? Like how many? We got a whole bunch of them on your account that night.
I think we got over 100 extra of the data cards. Viagra pills, blue burritos, whatever you want to call them. And we had people in chat saying that they picked up another 50 just watching us. So it's been doing something right. It was great.
Yeah, there's a bunch of those little teams like that. I'm hoping they don't change it, on the back-to-back, but who knows what they're going to do. Well, I'll take that back. I hope they change it for the good. They just tweak it, but they don't put new feats in the new one. Like, I hope it's the same one, and they're
not going to change anything. They're too lazy.
Oh, I know. Hey, I got to say it on stream, so it's a real request CG, right? But yeah, I hope they just click the button and they re-roll the whole thing again. So all these little teams that we find out are still valid, All
right. Let's see here. Let's see. Nightbot just went bananas again. All right. Psychodrone's question: how are players who don't follow massive amounts of online content supposed to know in Sector 1 that the frenzy consumable they ignore will be needed in Sector 5? Yeah. Yeah. That's one that's biting me in the ass because I'm having to do with the putting Biston and Bosk on the same team with GL Ray. Getting like 3 at a time, man. It's horrible. Oh God, it's so bad. I don't even want to talk about it. What do you guys think?
I think like anything in life, information is power. It really is. That's why we turn up to these sorts of things to help other people out.
Sure.
There's plenty of other other options out there and other content creators doing exactly the same thing. And honestly, the data mines make life a lot easier in the lead up to those that really know theory crafting and know what they're doing to help others. The community's insane when it comes to stuff like this, and the knowledge is there. You just got to look.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you get out of it what you put into it. If you don't want to watch, if you don't want to ask people for help, if you don't want to read the data mine, you're gonna get less out of Conquest. Like that's just how it works.
Yeah.
There's a on the frenzy thing, there's actually a consumable you can buy, and then you can get the feat right away.
Yeah,
you just got to spend the crystals.
We did that.
Or whatever.
The frenzy tech. No, you needed
just frenzy tech or whatever. Yeah.
Get the frenzy tech. Frenzy feats done in one shot. It's insane.
Yeah, but if you wanna grind it out, I did it along the way, like the way I did it, same way that Ranger did it was like Ray and Biston, but I went through the nodes, right? So I just naturally got it because I was going through it, but there is a tech if you just want to buy it, then you're done.
Yeah, it's so I wish I'd known that, but then again, I'm trying to look for data, so I'm like looking for things and stuff. So speaking of looking for things, look what we found. We found ourselves a Calvin Awesome. Calvin, what's going on, buddy?
Not a whole lot, man. Happy to be here as always.
Yeah, so you're waking up, getting some coffee.
Yep, right in the middle of the process of that as we speak.
Hey, there you go. Congrats to Calvin on his GA Center Championship. I think this is, 3 in a row for you?
For
titles.
It's only my second championship. Only my second championship.
Second, okay.
But yeah, thank you.
Yeah, congrats. So if you guys didn't know, it was this one's I can remember off the top of my head. I know Division 1 was Gom who won, so he got first place. In Division 2, it was End All Be All, but it's still a little bit up in the air because there's a little bit of we're going to maybe see what Bitcoin's last round looked like, or one of his rounds looked like. So that might change, but yeah. So congratulations to them. Calvin, you tied with Mort, but since Mort was way behind in banners, it was a pretty foregone conclusion. So congrats to all those guys. I'm trying to think who else won the other divisions. It's not coming to me on the top of my head.
Mort kept me on my heels. Like if I would have lost one battle anywhere over this 3 months, he had me.
Yeah, that's what he does, man. Mort, man. It's more, baby. It is what he does. All right, so we'll continue on here. Can we do Psychos? Darsign 1972 says, question: I think CG made Conquest's first 3 sets too easy and the next 3 sets pushed too far. I'm optimistic that CG after Maul will pivot to somewhere in the middle. What do you think? What are the thoughts from the panel? And anybody can answer this, whatever you guys think.
I mean, I heavily agree that I think they're missing balance. I think pretty much hit the nail on the head. And I'm not even sure if it's difficulty, but really trying to stretch people's rosters and their time. I think they went overboard with this last one, especially increasing the energy cost. That was just really unnecessary. Like Their goal was for us to play it more, but they're making it harder to play it more.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see here. Anybody else on this?
No. Sorry, you go, Warren. Sorry, bro.
I was just gonna say, as far as like making the game more fun after all of this, like for free to players, like I think they always, I hate to say this, but they kind of messed that up when they try, because like Bad Batch was that effort. And the reason why I say they messed that up is Bad Batch is a great free-to-play team, but then they turn around and they always require that kind of stuff for something that you don't want it to be required. And then they also put it into like galactic chases and things like that, where you have to have them to get like cool rewards. So it's like a double-edged sword, right? They give you something like, hey, we're going to give you these characters for free and you can farm them for free. And hey, it's cool, right? It's not a galactic legend, but we're giving you these new characters for free. Yay. You know, we're doing something cool. So I'm expecting them to kind of, you know, pivot to that after this galactic legend, something like that, where there's going to be some marquee characters and some coolness for everybody, kind of the, here's some low-hanging fruit. The problem is then they follow up with, here's another event that's rotational that, oh, by the way, you need these characters for it, kind of like they did with BAM and Bad Batch and all that. And that just pisses everybody off, because they're like, well, damn it, we have them at 3 stars. How are we supposed to use them in the event? So I don't know. They just, they do something really good that they shoot themselves in the foot. So, you know, I hope they listen, because like, I don't know. I talk on here to myself. There's so much promise, you know, there's so much promise, but
Right.
just anyway, yeah.
No, I got you.
Warrior
I think the
uses
issue
his
is-
inside voice sometimes, you know, and then
I think-
CG hears it.
I think the issue is that, and sometimes it can come across as being really negative as far as the responses and the criticism. I don't believe that's the case. I think that we're passionate. We really want it to go well, and we really want it to work. But it's just things like that we just see that other people find a real issue, and you know, we have to address it. It's, you know, it's really hard to make a case the other way at the moment, and none of us enjoy doing this, but we have the facility to be able to talk about it, so we do that, of course.
Oh, and I never complain without giving a solution. I don't believe in just,
Sure.
you know, complaining. I believe if you're going to say there's something broken, then you should be able to provide the other side to that conversation, which would be a solution. And I've always given them ample solutions for the conversation. So I love that they come out with these cool things. I just feel like they've always got the other side, that the hook that they're always trying to figure out. And it's like, sometimes you don't have to have a hook. Sometimes you can just throw the consumers a bone. You just can. Sometimes you can throw. Sometimes you can just do good PR. Sometimes you can throw 3 Chewy shards and just smile. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can just give a marquee event and just be a marquee event and just smile. Sometimes you can just do an event that's really fun, or double drops that's really fun, and just smile. Like, you just don't have to always put something at the end that's going to screw them, that double-edged sword piece that is going to be a requirement for the next thing, or whatever. I don't know. It just feels like they do that a lot to themselves. It's almost like they're riding the bike and they throw the, you know, the stick inside of the spokes, and then they like trip and they're like, damn it, you guys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree. All right. What else? 3 says, just a reminder about how much energy does it cost to get enough banners to unlock Vader? It was like Kenobi, what, 21,000 or some crazy number?
Yeah, you need about 22.5 is what I've heard, roughly, to get the full ultimate done.
Right.
Yeah,
that's what I used last time.
It's like 10,000 ish for the unlock, and about 10,000 to 12,000 to get the ultimate.
Yeah. So there you go. Science. Let's see here. Well, Lorelai said, who is the best Mandalorian leader for the Mandalorian feat? We just talked about Traya. So find a Geo node and Yi. Just like Sir Loki said, let them kill themselves, and then you get all those nice, delicious kills. Jason Krulix says, question, I'm about to unlock SLKR. How should I mod him? I've always said that there's 2 ways to do that one. Is you can either go super fast Kylo with about 11,000 offense, where you're just trying to get him in his ultimate, or you can go like I do, where mine's almost at 14,000 offense. He is much slower, but I just find that one is just, for me, that works out much better, where he just destroys things. I don't know, you guys, there's different opinions on it. Do you guys have any suggestions on like how you like to mod SLKR?
think you've covered the two options, mate. I really do.
All right. Well, you know, people
Yeah, I don't
dissent.
think there's much more to say. I think you covered it for us.
All right. Well, fine.
I have a
Yeah.
I have a guild mate who does a full health build,
Oh.
like 100%, all primaries, as many of the secondaries as you can, the other two mods and the sets, and he'll take SLKR without Cat to solo a raid team because he just won't die, and especially if they have JTR on the other team, every time she reduces his turn meter, he keeps on living. It's a very mod specific type of thing, but it's a valid option. Basically, anywhere between health, speed, and offense for SLKR, and you'll get a good SLKR.
Okay. All right. Next question. What else on 3? Question: how quickly do you think CG will respond with an update fix for this conquest before the next run, or will it take longer? For the way I understand it, they like to do these like 3 months or three conquests, get the feedback, and then then change it. Do you guys think that with the way Conquest is going now and the way the feedback's coming from the community, that they might expedite some changes before then?
Yeah, I think realistically that they're not going to make any changes until this next, this conquest is done, plus the next two.
Right.
Because I think logistically they don't have time to do that. So I wouldn't expect any changes, at least for this one or the following two at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hand in hand with the character, right? So I mean, it's
Yeah.
gonna be the next Conquest character. Maybe they can make some changes.
Okay. Let's see here. Rid ABD says, question, have any of you thought about starting a free-to-play account? I have not. And that's just me. Anybody here thought about starting a free-to-play account, or?
No.
Not from scratch. I've got a 4.5 mil account I've been dabbling away with for a long time, that I don't spend on.
Right.
And it's sitting there with Darth Revan at the moment still. Hasn't got Malik yet. But yeah, I just sort of play around with it and just let it build. It's got Negotiator. It's pretty solid, but I don't spend on that one. But yeah, it's at 4.5 at the moment. That's a new account from the start as well, many years ago.
All right. Next question from Red ABD again says, question, Ray plus Scoundrels or SLKR for the good Conquest team? For the Conquest team, well, you have to have a full team of...
Scoundrels or Smugglers?
Yeah, is it Scoundrels or Smugglers?
It's a Smugglers probably means.
Yeah, I think he means that. It's got to be a full team, right, of Smugglers, so I don't know if that'll work.
Well, yeah, Loki, help me with this one. I don't know if you remember or not, Loki.
It was full Smugglers.
Yeah. So the Smuggler one, Loki actually helped me with the team for this.
Did he?
We came up with one. Kira, Chewie, Han, Nest, and Veteran Han. We've been throwing together, and that's been a bit of fun. And that's been getting it done.
Okay. Anybody else on that one? Oh,
I did the same exact team except for I did L3 as my tank.
Perfect. Even better. Yours better than mine.
Oh, Vet Han's really nice for that's the same area that has the stagger. So every single time
it's got
he's
the
getting
stagger
thrown
as
his
well.
basic out, you're gonna knock that one out faster than you're gonna knock the smuggler one out.
yeah, the stagger one's a lot 60, but then you can do it with two teams. You're going to get some with the Smugglers, right? If especially with Vet Han. But
I did the stagger really fast because I can't remember. I threw in Malik and Bastila, Darkside Bastila, behind a couple of individuals for a different feat, and I threw Basti behind them, and she just did 5 stagger at a time, and I got stagger like insanely fast. I can't remember what other feat was on there, but I think you needed like some other feats. I was doing like one feat, and I just did stagger simultaneously, and I can't remember what it was, but I had stagger already done, which is why I did that particular team.
Yeah, you can do it with troopers because Stark with his AoE will attempt it. So that's 5 at a time with each one at least. If you're lucky, maybe you get another one, but that's one as well. Okay. All All right, Art Gaming says, question, what game modes do you want added to make it more fun? Well, we always talk about we want more game modes. We want it to be more fun. What is the panel's thoughts of whoever's got some ideas? What do you think? What would you like to see to make the game more fun? I think I have one that I think we all have on our mind, but
you go.
Well, we all want a sandbox mode. We all want to face each other, and we all want to, be able to go into battle and just, with their friends and just, fight one another and try different teams out and things of that nature. And I would be fine with it, if you had to use like 50 crystal refreshes or something to do it. But I mean, that's the one that I always hear and that I think would be kind of fun. But does anybody else have any other suggestions on fun game modes that they could add to this game that would be a lot of fun?
Like a personal Death Star raid. That'd be cool.
Yeah, you want the Death Star. I got you.
You know I do.
I know you do.
I want to kind of do what, you guys are doing, the content versus the content creator versus dev thing.
Yeah.
I want to be able to pick my opponent for GAC or something, kind of what you mentioned about sandbox, but I want to just be able to pick my own opponent if I want to, because that would be fun, because then I'll pick all my friends too or whatever.
Yeah.
Battle your guild mates.
So
That'd be a good
it's
one
not, it's
too.
not really a new game mode, but it's like maybe an enhancement to an existing one. Like that's kind of what I'm thinking. Because I had a question, like we were talking about it on the Gambit a little bit. I kind of brought it up, and then Ranger, I think you and I talked about it on Wednesday. But I was saying, with the way they did Conquest is supposed to be new content, right? Like that's unfortunately what it was supposed to be. And a lot of the consensus, a lot of the community was pissed off because, or they're pissed off now because they brought out Conquest. It was fun, and then it wasn't. Now it's not fun, right? It's repetitive, or it's monotonous, or whatever you want to call it. So like, does the new content have to be unachievable so we can get in that mindset that, okay, this is hard? It's like light side GOTV, right? We all knew it was going to be hard. You can't complete it for 2 years. Is that where they kind of messed up on Conquest, and then new content coming out, do they have to be careful with that, where they make it beatable and fun, and then they start scaling it up, right? Which is what's happening. So, I don't know. I don't know what they do at this point, because if they come out with new content and it's too hard, then, or I'm sorry, not too hard, but maybe too time consuming, or, or has these, you got to do 100 feats or something, then it's like, this is dumb, right? Like, that's the way we all feel right now. I don't know what they do, honestly. It's tough.
No, I agree. Anybody else? Game modes?
Yeah, I kind of agree with Sir Loki. I know they say that it doesn't really make them any money, so they'll never do it. But it would be nice if you had 50 friends like you have now, but you could just go in and select the friend, and next to the friend's name, there's like, join, and you could click it, and then it sends a request. And if they're in game, it would show up in game, and they could click it, and then it would go to a game mode. And then in that game mode, you could select, and they could open it up to multiple game modes, but you would be able to select in the Grand Arena style thing where you could do a 3v3 battle, a 5v5 battle, whatever, and then it would still be turn-based and all that, but you could it would say like, you have 5 minutes to set your teams or whatever, and you could set your defense for like a small battle, small board, kind of like a mini chess battle, and you could set your board. They could set their board, and it would say, your time is expiring in 3 minutes, hurry up or whatever. And then once your board was set, then you could do you'd have like a half an hour or an hour to do those battles and stuff. And it'd just be nice to have some sort of a timed match capability to be able to go in and do that. And it's possible. They've already told me that they could build it, and it's possible, but they also said they see zero way of monetizing that. So there's no hope, unfortunately, for that, which sucks, because that would be the bone that would be fun for them to throw us. The problem is they would spend a year building it, and we would see that as virtually no new content, and so we'd be upset for a year at them because there'd be no communication, no content, blah blah blah, and then people would be quitting in the meantime, and they'd be making no money. So they don't want to be stagnant for that long for throwing us a bone. So it's just not gonna happen.
All right.
Would it be funny if they tied it to a feat or something, or like a daily, like it said, beat one of your allies in a 3v3 sandbox mode, battle or something, like we do it on a daily. I think that would be kind of fun. because I'll, instead of climbing arena, I would go into my ally list, pick like warrior, Heinze, or Calvin or Ranger.
Yeah,
or
and it would show like a green dot if somebody's on, so you'd know who's available. You could click the person who's available and send them a request. I play games that is. I mean, I have a disc golf game where I can see who's on and available. I click their name, send them a request. Sometimes they deny it immediately. Sometimes they accept it, and then you play a game. But anyway, it's possible. But
I mean, you say that it could be monetized. I mean, you could easily do something like a battle pass type, option, and that would unlock those types of options, wouldn't it? I mean, that could be something to do. There's always a way, isn't there? Let's be honest. There's always a way of raking in cash if they really wanted to. But yeah, I mean, imagine I would sign up to a battle pass that I could battle my friends. Who wouldn't do that? That would be amazing. Yeah. And that monetizes, and we get to go head to head against those guys that we always want to do that we can't unless we get a lucky matchup.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. Okay. How do you say this name? Galdis? I hope I'm saying that right. It says, question, which Geos will be able to beat Lord Vader with Ultimate and Maul?
I would say you should only count on JMK. Like, if someone theory crafts something else, like with Rey or something to beat it, there's a good chance that that's going to get nerfed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just what we saw happen with JMK.
Right. So,
I mentioned last night on the Gambit podcast, there's a couple guys in my arena already, right? They got the non-ultimate Lord Vader Relicate. They're modding him like super tanky. And then he basically just sits there and times out your team. Because, you can chip away at the pieces, but if you're fighting like a 350k, health Lord Vader that just sits there and gets a bunch of stacks of whatever his buff is, and you risk, like, he's a timeout team at this moment without the ultimate, and it's already a pain in the ass. Like,
and you just throw you're right, and you throw an extra tank, and it's Stormtrooper.
So bad.
You put Storm in there with the Zeta, and
you have to put an unaligned force user. That's what I found out. So the guys are putting crew, right? So it's like RG crew, like and then it sits there. And
you can do 3 tanks. You can do Royal Guard, crew, Storm, him. Yeah, it's pretty sick. And then whatever Piet. But yeah, it's a timeout team for sure, because everybody's got 400,000 health and protection, and it takes 5 freaking minutes to chew through all of them. And if you do any of them but Royal Guard, he's just healing everybody nonstop. And if you go for Royal Guard, it takes you 3 minutes to kill Royal Guard. And then you have to kill everybody else, and it takes another 2 minutes to kill everybody else, which is almost impossible. You can make a timeout team. It's very difficult.
I tried Sith Eternal, and I made the mistake because I left solo Lord Vader up. You can't link him anymore, so you're just and then he heals himself. So it's just and the more you hit him, then he gets his mastery and all that stuff, right? I mean, it's just then if he has his ultimate. I haven't fought an ultimate one yet, but I can only imagine it's gonna be a nightmare. I'm sure it's hard to climb with that team. I don't think you can climb with it, but once you're at the top, you just plop that team in, and your arena shard mates are gonna hate you for a while.
Yeah,
so bad.
All right. Nightmare question: do you think there will be an event like the Executor coming soon for the light side ships, or maybe just Red 5? Yeah, we've been talking about shipload of content so far. We've gotten Razor Crest and we've gotten the Executor this year. It's not quite a lot of shipload of content. I mean, the Executor is still badass, but I'm still hopeful that we are going to get shipload of content, or I'm going to look really silly saying that this is going to be the year of the ship. What do you guys think?
Well, they said it.
I know.
I mean, they said a shipload
I said
of
it way
content,
before they did, and because I'm an idiot.
And that also means putting ships into other game modes. Like we've already seen them in challenges. It's gonna eventually come to Conquest. But I think they're gonna stick with this model of Executor, of get a bunch of characters to R8 to unlock this ship. I think that is their new plan. I don't think we're gonna get it too soon though. For for a free to play to get the executor, like even if they have all their requirements, it's like a year and a half. So the pay to play is already getting a significant advantage there. They don't have to bring one out every 6 months.
Right. All right. We'll see. Oh boy, I'm just thinking of that. Like, oh, but I get to relegate more characters. Huzzah! Oh boy. Nightmare question: do any of you feel that you would have played this game for as long as if you'd never spent a dime on it? If not, how long would you have lasted? Let's be honest, you're all Krakens. I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, because I've played other games before where I was spent, and pot committed. But when I just got sick of the game, I just got sick of the game. I did that with the Old Republic. I did that with World of Warcraft. I mean, there's other games where I've made a bit, not just money, but time and things of that nature. I mean, I played the Old Republic religiously for a long time. And then I just reached a point where I'm like, I don't want to play this anymore. I mean, I'm just, it's the same thing over and over and over again. I think if Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes ever became that kind of grindy feel that I got from where, like World of Warcraft or some of these other games, I would stop playing. It's like Battlefront 2. I mean, I played that for a long time, and it just got exacerbated because I was getting a little tired of doing the same thing over and over again, and just grindy, just doing it. And then they decided not to continue the game, so I'm like, okay, I'm done. And I spent some money in that game too. So I mean, I recently was playing State of Survival, another mobile game, and I was like, this is crazy. I'm not enjoying this. I've spent some money in the game, a good amount, and trying to catch up, and I'm just not going to. It's the same daily bullshit over and over again. I'm not having fun. For me, it's if I'm having fun, and I'm still having fun in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I really enjoy GAC. I'm not a big fan of Conquest, but I enjoy Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes still. And until that changes, it's not a matter of how much money I've spent. It's just I'll walk away when I just don't want to play it anymore. I don't know how the rest of you guys feel.
I feel the same way you do. What I like about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes is you don't need let me back up. You mentioned like PC games. The reason why I don't play like PC games anymore is because you always need the latest and greatest like graphics card, system. You need like fast internet and all that. And for me personally, like I like SWGOH because I can just take it with me wherever I go. I can play it on an old device. I can play it over cell data. It just works, and it's convenient for me, But yeah, I mean, I like the battle mechanic. It reminds me of just like an old school RPG, 5v5 kind of thing. It's not flashy. It's not, I tried State of Survival too. I thought it was messy. Like it just looked busy, and I don't like busy games, I guess. And, graphics wise. So, that's the appeal of me on SWGOH. And it's been like that for years because, I can just take it with me, and I don't need the latest, greatest graphics cards or equipment or fast internet or anything like that, to play it and enjoy it. And the community, man. I mean, that's the big one. Yeah, I think we're all here because of the community.
Yeah. I think we all love the community. Anybody else? Thoughts on this?
Pretty well covered it, man. Yeah. Right. Again, I've met some of the best. I've actually met friends that I now have in real life before from playing this game. I mean, it's just fantastic. I've never done that in any other game. But some of the people that we met along the way have just, if it wasn't the community we've got, I'm sure that we all would have, deleted the game off our phones a long, long time ago.
All right. Let's get to the next question. The Cycle Jump says, question, what percent of the community actually finished Redbox in a few days? At 6 million GP, I had to play every day and in previous ones and got the red crate. Now I'm playing AM to PM and multiple refreshes and barely at box 4. Loki, I know you went bananas and got you went crazy right off the bat, right?
Well, I mean, so my play style didn't really change. I did do I did to the 100s on the first day because I was telling a lot of my guildmates and stuff. I think the easy way to do this conquest is just blast through it and get all the cards, the data cards, and then go back and chip away at the feats. Because a lot of people were trying to grind the feats and do the sectors all in one go, and I don't think you can do that. It's I think you'll be more frustrated that way. So I did go to like the 100s like the first couple days, and then at that point it was kind of like little bit of like a cruise control, but I was doing the 50s like everybody else. And then now, I mean, I got the red crate with like maybe 7 days left. So now I know where I can kind of drag it out for the next round, and maybe I can spend less crystals. But the big thing, the big thing is just don't lose a battle. That's where you're going to make up all the time and crystal, the crystals you didn't have to spend, even if you 1-star the node, because you can just come back and grind a feed out or something there, and you should be fine. And then I mentioned the biggest gripe for me was just the RNG with the data discs and the teams you got, right? Because when I saw Heinze got all the toys and discs, like I got nothing this go round. So I was a little more frustrated, but I did get the cool teams. Like I got a Tusken node in like every sector, which is gold mine, right? Like that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, I never saw Tuskens.
I saw one Tusken. I was like, God,
but that's the unfortunate thing with it's been like that since the first conquest. It's RNG with
Padme after Padme.
Yeah, dude, one of my guildmates got gas back to back to back, and I'm just like, oh man, that sucks. Like you can't, it was gas. You can't knock out any feats with that thing.
Actually, Padme melts. Bad Batch melts Padme really easily. I found that out. I got to learn that. But so my strategy was run through section 1, 2, and 3 on day 1 using refreshes, using all my refreshes, the 6 refreshes, so 450 crystals to get through those first 3 nodes to unlock it all, so you can see what all your feats are for all of that. And then on day 2 and 3, you can really strategize and go through and start really planning out your feats on those 3 nodes or those 3 sections to start going through and clearing some of those feats day after day, because each feat a lot of times has like you have to do this 14 times. Well, if you break that down into like 3 days, it's like you have to do basically 5 battles times 3. So then each day you go in and you can do like 5 battles with this team or that team, and in some teams can knock out 4 of those feats. And if you go in and do like 5 battles with that team, the next day they're charged back up enough to do another 5 battles because you only took them down a little bit, and then they're ready to go. And then the next day, and by day 3, you've knocked out 4 feats, and that's over with. And so so you're only having to do a few refreshes each day, and you've got 3 spaces open. I did that, and I maxed in the first 3 days. The first 3 nodes were complete, or the first 3 sections were completely done. I had 84, 88 of 88, 84 of 84, and like 127 of 127 done in 3 days because of that. And then I got to spend the next 3 days doing the last 2 nodes or 2 sections. And those last 2 sections were much more difficult. But so I don't know, everyone has their own strategy, but I think running through the gauntlet for that first day to open up those first 3 gives you a chance to see what you have to do. It might help out. Right.
Agree. All right. Next question here. Wolfell question: with gear requirements pushed higher and higher, it's pushing farms from reasonable to 3 to 6 months for the next big thing to 9 months to a year for free to play. How is it just farming gear? How is just farming gear fun? It's not. My big thing that I'm pushing, I don't know what you guys think about this. It's time to up the gear from gear 8 to at least the left side of the gear 12 pieces. Like those have got to be like they did for the lower gear, where it's like, double drops, multiple, instead of 1, you get 2 or 4 on those pieces. I'm talking about stun guns, stun cuffs, Corbantes, those kind of pieces to the left side, like the bayonets, things of that nature, need to be quadrupled in what we can get. I think they need to change the challenges to put more of those in there. And I think it would go a long way for the community if they did that. I mean, if you give the community, especially free to play, like they did with character shards. I think they did a great job with the character shards. I liked the plan and how they executed. After a year, it goes into the expedited kind of thing. We need to expedite this kind of gear because really this game has gone to Relic 8, soon to be Relic 9. They can still make plenty of money off relics and the right side pieces, but the left side pieces to get to Relic 0 and all the rest to take it from gear, 7, 8 to 12, the left side should be done. I mean, that's the thing that I really think that they need to do, because gear is just like anything else. It's like mods for me. It's something that I don't enjoy doing, but it's a necessary evil so I can go have fun doing the stuff that I do enjoy doing, like, GAC. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, am I on crack here with this solution? Or, I mean, what do you guys think about this?
Mate, you're on the money. The gear crunch is still a problem. They know it and they were going to address it and they haven't. So, yeah, the gear 12 left-hand side definitely should be a lot more accessible. The stun guns, the Carbantis should definitely be more accessible. The drop rates on the Kairos are horrific. There's certainly a lot of things that need to be addressed there. Absolutely. Even for a long-term player, like, we've been playing since start. We feel the grind as well, like a lot of other people. It doesn't affect us as much because of the way we play the game, but that doesn't mean the gear crunch still isn't there. We acknowledge that, but there's not a lot we can do about it,
right?
Unfortunately. So
I mean, they can't kill it, because if they kill the gear crunch entirely, the game dies. Like,
right.
you don't have anything else to work for.
But you still get.
So they have to balance it.
Yeah,
but they're doing that with Relic 9 soon. I mean, it's scaling up. The game and the requirements and the power is still scaling up. But to get that lower tier gear that's not as important as it used to be, and if they want to bring new players through, which they made a point of with the the quicker cadence now, they should be making it a lot easier to get that gear, so it's just a non-issue for new players if they want to keep attracting new people and keeping them to stay.
Yeah,
it's definitely. I think that you hit it on the head. It's most important for the new players who are coming in who don't feel like they are never ever gonna catch up.
Yeah,
I agree. I mean, and it just made me think about this because, when you're, I'm going for Lord Vader, of course, and I'm taking my time with it because I'm just looking at some of this stuff. I mean, it's not just, the Bad Batch, like the 5 characters. It was the 4 Bad Batch and it was Tusken Raiders. The other ones are fine. Zam and Newt and Count Dooku. They're they got a piece here and a piece there. Wasn't really too concerned about that. But when you have all those Carbantis and stun guns and stun guffs and then the 400 card techs for each of the Bad Batch, and then you go look at Tusken Raider and you're like, oh, 400 Carbantis, 150 stun guns. You're just like, Jesus Christ, this is bananas, and it's super grindy. It's you have to, it takes forever to get him. Card text is its own separate thing, but even if you want to keep card text the way it is, I'm fine with that. Keep your card text, make your money off that, but give us the rest of this stuff. Laura, you look like you want to say something.
Nope.
Okay.
I totally agree with everything that's being said about gear being, at this point, there is the low end gear. And when I say low end, I mean gear 12 and below is low end gear at this point.
Yeah.
Especially left side gear 12, and then anything gear 11 and below needs to be far more accessible. The drops, when a character is considered 1 year or older, they get double drops. All of the gear that's a year old or older, so we're talking everything but cryos. Basically, you can put them in their own. Everything else basically needs to be doubled as far as drop rates at this point, because there's now 216 or whatever characters in the game. They need to crank that gear level, the gear drops up, especially because now we convert that gear into crunching it for relics for the highest end. So all of us are trying to crunch all that crap gear, and we don't even have crap gear to crunch anymore because we've crunched it all. So if you're low end and you need it, you need it. If you're high end, you need it for a different reason, but you still need it. And we're still getting it dropped at the same rate when we had 60 characters in the game. So they need to, just literally double the amount of gear you get.
Agreed. I agree 1,000%. All right. Next question from Thomas Clark says, what is your favorite GL? Doesn't have to be the best GL. We'll go around. Heinz, your favorite GL?
I really like Kenobi. I'm having fun with Kenobi. I like that team. I like Kenobi in general as far as the character in Star Wars. So yeah, Kenobi's probably my standout. I do enjoy having fun as well with Kylo, with his crisscross and his drains and dropping his ultimate, taking the helmet off. That's pretty cool graphic. But no, I think Kenobi's my boy.
You're my boy, Blue. What about you, Warrior?
Mm-hmm.
For PvP, it's either Kenobi or C, and for PvE, it's going to be Kylo.
Yeah, for me, it's for GAC and for PvP, it's Rey. I have enjoyed seeing so many holds on defense with my Rey counters on defense. Or people who go in there with their C like, I've got this, and you're double dead in one shot. So it's then 4 battles later they clear it or they don't clear it, and I'm like, yep, that's a free GAC win. I think, yeah, I'm with you, Heinz. Kenobi's a lot of fun to play. Really is. I like it. The three characters, when you have Ahsoka and then one shot stuff, you're just like, it's such a great feeling. It's like when you do it with the Mandalorian, where you just disintegrate something, or Dark Trooper, where he goes in and Kassan chops someone. So I enjoy that aspect. Sir Loki, your favorite GL?
I'm with Heinzie, man. It's JMK. We were talking about it last night that, there's that new phase 1 team in the Crankcore with JMK, the one that gets the 50% now.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think the last Merc raid I was in, I got 17 million in phase 1 with that JMK team. I didn't even try, man. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, I'm done. I don't have to do damage anymore. I obviously did damage, but I mean, the Rancor goes so fast that you just don't even have time to play it. From a raid standpoint, I mean, he can solo Sith raid too, and then just he can beat any of the GLs. So he's good. I mean, if anybody's going for the first GL, I would just go straight for JMK at this point, honestly, and you'll have a monster in the challenge Rancor and GAC and territory war, whatever. And then he's meta right now in Squad Arena, so he's super good.
Yeah, I agree. And Calvin, awesome.
Definitely has to be SLKR for me. He was my first, and I've always loved any type of stacking offense where the character just progressively going to hit harder and harder and harder. And even obviously there's the PvE aspect, but in the PvP aspect, he can do it too. Like there's some battles where you see him to hold out long enough and get a few swipes in, and all of a sudden he's hitting way harder than he was before.
Right. I agree. All right. Let's see here. Nightmare question. How can CG stop guilds from dropping out of the gauntlet or stop guilds from gaming the system and sandbagging in general? Is it a big problem throughout the entire game? You talk about TW. There's got to be some changes to that. Now, I can just speak from my guild, is that the last year it's been really crazy. We've lost people, and then COVID hit, and that's really upended a lot of people's lives. For us, TW, it's optional. I mean, some guilds it's really important, but it's more about bragging rights. It's not about the rewards. I mean, if you lose, it's not that it's not that big a difference. Some guilds it's like it's about that. Hey, we beat Maul, or we beat Cop Patrol, or whoever, right? It doesn't really matter. So I don't, for us it's optional because there's, especially on a weekend, people work, there's so much going on in this game. Our philosophy is like, if you can make it, fine. So we go into a lot of our TWs with like 44 to 46. There's usually about 2 to 4 that sometimes real life is just happening, death in the family, things of that nature. It's just one of those things. It's not an intentional sandbag. Now, that being said, there are some guilds that go way, way down and get like 38, or, and are sandbagging, which I don't know why. It's not that big a difference in rewards. But, I mean, do you think this is something CG needs to address? Do you think it's a really systemic problem? I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on this?
I think for them, TW is kind of a dead game mode.
Sure.
Like ever since they tried to do they weren't feats. They were like special buffs, like Mace Windu and Jawas or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was Jawas. It might have been Geos. And that didn't go over well. They're just kind of like, all right, we put money into this. We put time into this. 50% of the community said they hated it, so we're just not going to bother. That being said, the algorithm for it could be improved if they could put in a variance in priority for how many people are joined. Right now, it's just being matched up by the matchmaking GP, and there's nothing to consider how many members actually join. So if they could put in some type of variance of like, okay, priority first off is GP, and then after that, if it's available, and this is hard because PvP, it's a limited number of guilds. There's not always going to be the perfect guild match for you, or if it is, it's who you fought last time. They can put in a variance of like, all right, so you had 45 join. This one over here had 44 join, and your GP is relatively close after matchmaking. So we're going to do that. That would be, that's the easiest solution because you can't make it mandatory to sign up. I mean they could, but that would break apart guilds with anyone who just never does TW, which most guilds have a few.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't know what the true solution to this is, but you know.
Well, it's not. I don't see people going, "Hey, you guys, U10, we don't like you being at the bottom of our guild, so we're gonna make you sit out and not get rewards. And F you, we're gonna sandbag and beat up on some lower guild. I don't see that happening ever. So I don't think that this reality that people live in actually exists. What I think actually happens is there's a guild out there and there's 5 people that don't give a crap, that don't sign up. They don't. And so it lowers their GP a little bit. They get paired up with a guild that's got 50 people that happen to have the similar GP of these 38 that actually care about it. And because these 38 have a similar GP, but if you look at 38 versus 50 with a similar GP, those 38 are going to have better characters. They have to, if they're going to have a similar GP, they are going to have better characters. So because they do, they put better characters on the front line and that team of 50 can't break through it. Then they get upset about it and they say, oh, they were sandbagging. That's an excuse in my opinion. What the only fix is for this is to do exactly what he said, which is you have to look for similar amounts of people playing and similar GP both, and then have it paired up versus just similar GP, because currently it only looks for similar GP,
right?
And that's it. So the only solution would be similar GP and similar character number, so that way it's taking into account how many people are playing and the total GP, so that way it's doing a character or person average, because a person average would make a difference. Because if your person average here is 9 million and your person average here is 6 million, that is going to, the rosters are going to look different. But I don't fault the 38 people over in this guild who are playing, who are trying to do their best, and they're not forcing, the 5 people to sign up who aren't going to be playing or available either. I just don't buy this whole, I've never seen it ever, especially at the high end. Nobody gives up their rewards for their team. I don't know, man. If somebody knows why someone would do that, please chime in.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the things. I mean, one, it's a lot harder as you get higher up in GP to find people at that GP if you want to replace someone. 2, you have people that actually quit, and then you're actually stuck in that situation. 3, real life happens. 4, it's TW. It's not like it's a game mode that has not been touched in a long time. I mean, getting one less Zeta, we do TWs, and if we lose, I'm just like, okay, we lost. Can
I just add to the whole matchmaking thing that Warrior was talking about? Can I even add another parameter to that, especially now more than ever? And I would like to see total Galactic Legends on sign up added to the matchmaking as well. Now that there's no counters available, now matching them up evenly from Galactic Legend, because I've seen some matchups where there's been something like 30 extra Galactic Legends on one side to the other. Mate, it's game over before you even start. So I'd like to see a way where Galactic Legend versus Galactic Legend is included in the count or the algorithm somehow. And the whole sandbagging thing is certainly a polarizing subject. It's something that's not going to go away. It's not easy to solve. One simple thought, and again, this may be really, really simple, is why don't you just give extra awards for those guilds that sign up 50 out of 50? Yeah. And that will then incentivize guilds to push people to at least join. Yeah. Whether you participate or attack or not, that's totally up to you. But if you at least join and say get an extra 2 or 3 Zetas or something along those lines, or some new the new mods, the new mod slicing material, something like that to make it worthwhile to sign up to 50/50, people are going to do it more.
All right, I like it. Good solutions. Good conversation. Good solutions. All right, Thomas Clark question: what do you think was the reason CG released Lord Vader when they did? Yeah, they just dropped him. I forgot about that little nugget there, because normally the last 5 GLs, we got the kits early, we had all the requirements, and then when those last requirements dropped, then you had like about 5 to 7 days before, maybe a little bit longer in some cases, but it came a little bit afterwards. You got a little bit more time to finish up everything. This one, they were just like, huzzah, here you go. I was shocked, and I didn't realize it because someone said, some post was put, and I didn't read it. I just knew that Operation Metaverse was getting the kit reveal. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, I didn't read the post and saw that Crumb had put, it'll be released later today, until I was, and I've been busy doing other stuff, and then I got my phone pings. I'm like, Arnold's doing a GL Vader event. How's he pulling that off? I went in there like, oh no, they did it the same day. I mean, it's not really in the scheme of, yeah, go ahead.
Honest to God, I think it's because they saw streams like his and mine and others where they saw us already at like 3,000 some energy, and they were like, oh crap, because they killed the Google Play thing, and they're like, now people aren't going to be able to get them on day one, blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden they see everybody hoarding energy, and they said mid-September, and then they said Relic 9s are in August. Well, their timelines are all messed up. Relic 9 still hasn't come out, and it's weeks later, and he was supposed to be a week from now, and I think they were like, just bring them out, because they the whole point of taking them out of the Google Play Store was so that way there was no day one unlocks, you know what I mean, kind of thing, unless you were that weirdo that kept energy for the last 2 months or something like that. And then all of a sudden they were like, oh my God, everyone's a weirdo at the high end. Yeah, everyone's a weirdo at the high end. And so they were like, holy crap, all these high end people are at the high end guilds. They're all doing it. Damn it, release them now, hurry. So I think that's why they did it, because they've never done that before, but they thought they tripped us up with removing energy from the energy store, and then all of a sudden whammo. So I think that's why they realized that they needed to release them a week early, because they were already behind the curve on energy problems.
I don't think he was a week early, though. I think if you match it with the rest of the cadence, the only thing that was out of whack with this one is the fact that we got the kit reveal and the drop on the same day.
Yeah. Which was...
Yeah, they've never done that before.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
I don't know, but I heard that the reason for that was they were actually ready, that his drop day was always supposed to be this one. The issue is they didn't bring his kit up beforehand because the kit reveal that they had given to someone else wasn't prepped for viewing. So that's kind of what held. That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true, but that's kind of what held things up for a day or two.
That could be the case. I mean, I just don't know. I mean, speculation. I mean, but
well, every Galactic Legend has had a week heads up, and this one didn't. So that doesn't make sense.
Well, it's how long had the last requirement's been out? That's been what, 2 weeks?
A week, 2 weeks. When did the last ones drop? End of August 25th.
Yeah, but even the kit reveals were three to 5 days prior to release.
Right.
Usually they would drop them like Wednesday, and then the character would hit Friday.
Yeah.
There's always been about a 72-hour window from kit reveal to in-game event, generally. There's a reason for it, but
we don't know what it is.
We don't know. But it was
how
quite
are they
surprising.
releasing Relic 9s?
It didn't worry me any, to be honest, because just like every event in
that
Australia,
one, I don't know what they're doing.
everything fires up at 4 a.m. down here, so it's not like anything really worries me too much as I wake up. It's like, oh, okay, I'm going to do it today.
And I was already planning on just going a little bit slower on this one, because after Kenobi and Executor, I was like, yeah, I got to go slower. I'm going to lose my mind. I could spend, but like, nah, I'm not going to do it. Nightmare question. When was the last time you PR-ED yourself? What is that? I don't even know what the hell you're talking about here, man. What the hell are you talking about, Nightmare?
Like you did PR on yourself? Is that what they're
PR'd
saying? Like
it
you...
yourself? When's the last time I PR'd myself? Tell me what you talk about here, Nightmare, because I'm trying to figure out what the hell. What? Okay. What do you mean? What is happening? Let's see here. Dark Sign question: is anyone concerned about Relic 9 and what this will entail? Is difficult enough for people to even get Relic 8? Any thoughts on how this is going to be brought into the game? Panel thoughts? What do you guys think?
Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, Conquest is the obvious vehicle unless they bring out some new content.
Right.
If we get a new upgraded tank raid, maybe something like that, it might be thrown into that. But yeah, at this point, I think Conquest is the vehicle for all sorts of new gear releases at this point in time.
Yeah.
Is it safe to say everybody on this panel is going to Relic 9 their Piet first, so their executive goes first? They say that, oh, Relic 9 is supposed to help the tanks. Well, I'm not doing that. I'm doing Piet, right?
Yeah,
Like
Piet's
that's
first.
he's number
Sorry.
one, right?
I will buy the pack for that one purpose only, and the rest I'll get naturally. But
I've already got I think 3 Relic 8s in the tank at the moment, just waiting
I've
for
got
Relic 9 because
6 or
we're going to need
something,
some of that gear for it.
Yeah,
So
oh my God.
yeah.
It's coming sooner rather than
And
later.
who's the second one? Is it going to be GK or Bosk? Like, it's like, do you make your executor fleet better, or do you make your other fleets faster? Right? Like
Royal Guard.
Oh,
At least those are all tanks.
Royal Guard. Yeah,
I actually got him at Relic 8. He's awesome.
Royal Guard is a pilot, man.
Yeah, he
He's
is.
It's not a bad investment.
Yeah, because it goes to the Empire ship with
Yeah,
EP.
goes to
shuttle.
It's definitely Royal Guard's my first tank for 9.
Oh, that makes sense. I mean, he'll probably be he's the meta tank, and they've said that this is supposed to be good for tanks. So that's a legitimately good option.
I was seriously thinking like maybe my second one's either going to be Bosk or it's actually going to be like General Grievous, because I think we all still need non-executor counters. So I don't know, maybe a faster Grievous would help. I
don't know if it would.
That's still a 1 to 2, 3 shot nightmare, right? That we all have to deal with. And
Yeah.
I don't know if Relic 9 is going to help any of those 2-step, 3-step counters to executor, but I don't know. I might just YOLO it and just try so I can possibly have an easier time against executor. I'm worried about executor more than any of the GLs right now. I mean, just executor is his own GL in fleet, and that a lot of these wars are going to come down. GAX and territory wars are going to come down to executor. Because everybody's going to put it on defense and everybody's going to force everybody to struggle with it. So, yeah, I'm dreading Relic 9 right now, honestly.
I was thinking also Kenobi would be a good one as well. I mean, Kenobi goes in your JMK team, your Kenobi team. So, GK is certainly one that I'd be considering possibly. I mean, negotiator still, capital ship pilot. So, I mean, there's certainly a few options that I think we're all going to work through, but give it time, guys, because once it drops and we know what stats apply to what, there's going to be plenty of people telling you what you should be putting it on. Don't you worry about that.
Every GL.
GL's first and work down.
Executor and GLs. You damn right.
Especially any
GLs and
GL
work
that's a tank.
Yeah, JML's looking pretty good now.
Yeah, he's looking delicious.
I mean, Ranger loves Ray. I mean, imagine
Relic 9 Ray,
now,
baby.
right?
Kiss my
All that
ass.
stuff stacks with the Relic levels now.
Yuck.
So that's a disgusting one too. If you face a Relic 9 Ray,
Oh,
that's I'm not even looking forward to that one.
makes me cringe.
Yeah, it's creamy and delicious. All right. Darksign 1972 question: in my opinion, Conquest has been the personal mini raise we've all been asking for. Do some things like energy need to be addressed? Absolutely, but overall, I'm enjoying Conquest. The energy, yeah.
I like it.
I don't. I just find it very. So here's the things I do like. I do like the battles, like against certain, like the boss battles, things of that nature. I'm not a big fan of the mini bosses, just simply because that's just that. Yeah, come on. you can't have 3 separate battles. We have to use 20 energy with the energy being the way it is. I'm sorry, that's
Yeah,
silly.
that's an energy problem in my opinion.
Yeah. I like
that's
the new
stupid.
data disc. I like, some of the feats are fine because you can just knock them out while you're going, and I like that you can figure out which teams to use. Like we talked about multiple teams for some of these feats and stuff. I like that aspect. The stuff that it just win with the same team 14 times, ridiculous, right? And the other thing, and we've all addressed all this other stuff too. So for the stuff that I do find enjoyable for Conquest does not outweigh for me personally the stuff that really sucks. I hate the time sink that this is having all of us do. I mean, it's so ridiculous how much time I've had to spend on Conquest, and the stamina is an issue too, where it's like, Jesus, I can only do so many because after you reach a certain point, and I've got crazy good mods, and it's like
Ranger has a stamina issue. Hey, you guys, I gotta go. You guys
you gotta go. All right, bye, Warrior. I'll pimp your
See
stuff
you,
for you,
Warrior.
buddy.
Yep.
Always a pleasure, mate.
See you, man.
But yeah, I mean, you can only knock out so much, and I think the bad outweighs the good. Not that there isn't good. I'm with you, Calvin. And if you enjoy it, I'm saying, hey, more power to you, right? But for me, I just don't enjoy it. But Calvin, what do you enjoy about it?
I mean, like for me, it's playing the game. Like a lot of people will say it's tedious or like it's the time commitment. Like I want to spend time using my characters that I invested in against other things. I want to spend time doing the things that the team Loki said with Treya and Bando. Like I love learning stuff like that. I love the achievement process of it of going through unlocking the box. Etc. Just kind of playing it through. The only thing that I don't like is the energy cost is so high. You are obligated, even if you play the whole thing perfectly, you are obligated to spend crystals, and it's obviously a very pay to play design, but also like it really ruins a lot of the achievement for it, because my old goal with the last Conquest was to get through it without doing any refreshes, like play it so well, combine enough of the feats, and you literally can't do that now. Like if you have a 9 million roster, play it absolutely perfectly, theory craft out your butt, you still have to end up using refreshes, and that's dumb in my opinion. But everything else I like how the feats reward a deep roster. I like how a lot of them, not all of them, reward theory crafting. I like how there's more things to do. I like some of the things they changed with the feats. I thought a lot of the old feats were worse than the new ones, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just think they need to pull back on it a little bit, right? Increase the energy use, or the amount of energy we get. Give us a 45 like you do with the other energy. I think that'll address that, right? I mean, having to spend some crystals for this, I think it's a fair trade-off. It's 1,400 at a minimum you're gonna have to use to try to get this undone. If you do the 350s, I'm not even counting the hundreds on that on a 2-week period to beat this. And then get rid of these repetitive same one over and over and over again. I mean, I don't like doing 14 battles in a row with Geonosians. I'm sorry, that's boring, and it's not challenging. It's not difficult. It's just grindy. That's the thing that just is cringe for me. It's just the grindy stuff. I don't know. I mean, overall, I mean, Heinze, Loki, let's get your thoughts on this. I mean,
Yeah.
Conquest.
Look, I enjoy the concept. I really do. I enjoy the concept and the idea. And I did enjoy it. At the start when it came out, I thought, this is great. I really, really enjoy it. We were doing wild and wonderful things with characters that we had collecting dust in our roster. And that, to me, was actually really enjoyable. And now I feel that I mean, we've just kept going over and over and over, really the same thing. We know the energy's a problem. We know the feats in the same factions are a pain in the butt. I mean, we know that, and I'm sure they know that too. I really do.
Yeah.
And I think that they should be addressed. It's going to take a couple of conquests to do it, but I think that they will address it because there has been a lot of backlash. Definitely. Yeah. It's been a lot of discontent, and I think they know that. But the concept itself, I think, is great. The reward structure is, one of the best in the game. I mean, you're getting characters, you're getting, mod slicing stuff that you can, do a heap of mod slicing all at once, especially the higher end, 6-dot mods. It's great. You certainly are getting good rewards in this. So, the work has certainly paid off. But yeah, it is just, a little bit more grindy than it needs to be. And if we can bring back a little bit more of the fun aspect and have some more fun theory crafting ideals instead of needing to use this 14 times, I'd be happy with that. But that's just my personal thought.
Well, I just blame Finn.
Well, you can do that too.
Yeah, Finn sucks. Okay. Loki, you Conquest overall.
It's just a time sink, man, and my concern moving forward is, with the amount of time needed for Conquest, I really think they need to consider either getting rid of old content that we're clicking away at, or make, I frown upon it when they make something simmable, and I get it that the sim button is something that the lower GP player plays toward, right? Like I understand that whole thing, but when they make something simmable, that just tells me they don't care anymore, and I hate, that maybe 6 months from now, we're going to have to hit the sim button 12 times every day, right? In different areas of the game, while we're still doing Conquest, while we're still doing GAC, while we're still doing territory war. And then, and who knows if we can still do light side GOTB. But what I'm getting at is with all the new content coming out, we can expect that there's going to be more of a time sink. They need to either make the new content less of a time sink and less boring, or they need to get rid of the old content that they've already made simmable, and it's basically taking up time. You know what I'm saying? Like even doing 600s, well, not 600s, but even doing the dailies right now, like we've been doing dailies for 5 years straight. Even the dailies take time, right? And I forget sometimes or whatever. And there's just too many places you got to click now. And then they just make everything simmable. And it's like, I don't know, like.
Would you like a master sim button?
Yeah, I mean, I would be good with that, I don't know what the solution is. It's just, I see, moving forward, if they're going to come out with more game modes like Conquest, it's just going to compound more time. And then you have all these old game modes and old tasks and dailies that we're still doing on top of all that, and that's not fun to me. If they make Conquest like they did light side GOTB, where, hey, here's your Conquest, it's going to be stupid hard. Yes. I'm okay with that, But for them to come out with like Conquest, make it fun, and then not make it fun after whatever we're on Conquest 7 or whatever it is, that's not right either. Because that's not what you promoted it to be. So I'm a little leery when they come out with new content. If it's going to be time consuming or boring or monotonous or whatever, they shouldn't be doing that.
Again, I blame Finn. Okay. Let's see. What else? 73. We're gonna do a couple more. And then I'm not gonna get to all the questions, guys, but we will do our best here. But it's been 2 hours, and it's a Saturday. What can I say? Let's see here. What else? 73 question for Lord Vader tiers. Is it the same as JMK, where it isn't too difficult, or it's more about the story? As far as I understand it, yes, that's the dealio.
Yeah.
Well, JMKs you can't lose. Like tier 1 and tier 2, or like rip off your mods and hit auto.
Yeah, I did the whole event. I did the whole event without any mods on it the whole way. I think I did a video on it back then on JMK. Yeah, you cannot. Honestly, you cannot lose it. You just cannot.
Yeah.
But the Vader one you can lose, right? That's what you're saying.
Oh, well,
I had a guildmate. They went in, what is it, tier 4 when you first unlock Vader. They forgot to level up Vader and put mods on him and level up the
you got to level them up.
They lost.
Yeah, you got to level them up once you unlock
level
it,
1's
certainly.
gonna lose.
Yeah.
But we weren't thinking about that, right? It's like what Heinz just said was JMK. You can just do the whole thing, right? Without.
Yeah. Just gotta unlock it, relic it up or gear it up, then go in and do the ultimate farms after that. And if you do that, you can do it without mods on.
You know what I was upset about, honestly, was they had the scene on Mustafar. Obviously it's the same sequence. It's JMK versus LV, right? But they failed to put like Newt Gunray in that thing, man. And I was just like, they could have put that scene before he fought JMK, right? I mean, we all
Newt Gunray, Wat Tambor.
Yeah, we all relicked up those characters, and they could have slid Newt in there or something, you know, as you know, not even a battle we can play, but in the cutscene or something, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, they put Trench, which is cool, but you know, we did Newt Gunray, and he was in that, you know, he was on Mustafar, you know, before he got whacked by Anakin, but
You promised us peace. Whack. Yeah. But we even talked about it as well, Loki, earlier in the week. There was a massive opportunity missed when we were doing the when they in one of the Shakti tier. Is it the 3rd tier? I think it is, where you're at the Jedi Temple. How did we not get a lightsaber flashing with younglings in the background? Bemuses me. Like, that was an opportunity lost right there. I mean, you didn't even need to see him do anything. I mean, we saw Dooku and it cut away, but just seeing the saber igniting with the younglings in the background, then done deal. That to me was an opportunity missed, I think.
Master Skywalker, what are we going to do? There's too many.
We got Omega in the game we can take out, so don't blame the whole their kids thing. Just saying.
No, that's science. All right. Buzzsaw, has anyone else noticed an issue in Conquest where the target dies before you hit it? No. But then again, I'm not that perceptive. Yeah.
no, I didn't notice that.
I mean, either.
Really showy. What else? Anything says real quick? What's the JMK P1 team? Their locomotive.
Oh, it's so it's JMK, Cat, C-3PO, Shakti, General Kenobi. That's the team, and you basically put the damage immunity on GK because he's going to tank you the whole time. And then you use you call C-3PO to assist the entire time, and it reduces the cooldowns of everybody on the team with translation. Mm-hmm. And the goal is you can reset DI and keep putting it on GK, and then Kat's going to keep ramping her damage up. And then at the very end, when you hit Enrage, you just do one big hit with Kat, and usually you can get like, I mean, like last time it was like 50%. So I mean, yeah, she does a big hit at the very end, and she's ramped up like crazy. But you keep calling C-3PO to assist on the boss, and he just does his thing. It's pretty fun.
Okay. All right. The engineer says, question, what is Merc? Why do it and how?
What is it? What is Merc?
What is Merking and why do it and how?
Okay. So you do this as well, Loki, and I don't know if you do, Kelvin, or not, but long story short is that there are guilds out there that can't complete the Challenge Rancor raid, and obviously the Sith raid as well, in a lot of cases. So quite often those that are really proficient with it in high GP guilds where there's a lot of competitiveness in those guilds will struggle to get good rewards. So what they do is they actually don't do them in their own home guild. They wait for a window between guild events. So in between territory battles and territory war, quite often they'll jump into another guild and actually help them complete those raids. The people that go across to help them get the top tier rewards, top 1, 2, 3, or 4. So they get the best rewards, which they won't get in their home guild, but they're also helping, 47 other people get rewards at all. So it's a bit of a win-win situation.
Yeah. There you go. And then last question from Everbold, I think that's how you say it. It says, hi guys, question, how long does it will take to unlock Jedi Master Kenobi from middle standpoint? My JMY is Relic 7, GK is Relic 5. Only Kairos and Ayla remain to be 7-star free to play and $200 per month spender alternatives. For JMK, I mean, it's to get the characters, I mean, that's your own pace with, drop rates of Chirotex and the gear and finishing that up. The event itself, a week to 2 weeks. Depending on if you're going to use the refreshes for energy to get tickets, because then you have to do the ticket farm. And then you typically, if you've got a lot of energy, you can store, which most people don't. 7 days to 2 weeks to get him unlocked. and that's what they're using the 350 refresh is. Some will even do the hundreds just to expedite the amount of tickets to get him done. So it depends on how fast you want to do it. I mean, you can do it in 7 days, or it could take you 2 weeks. But that's, I think, typically, and if I'm off base on this, I'm sure the panel will say, Ranger, shut up, you're an idiot. But,
No, well, not. We don't say it live. We say it afterwards.
no, but they say it.
But no, that sounds right. And when you farm it, make sure you farm the node that has the Chirotex on it. So you're going to need a heck of a lot of Chirotex for a Galactic Legend. So while you're farming the tickets, make sure that you hit the node with the Chirotech availability in the drop rates as well. So you're sort of, taking care of that side of things as well.
Yeah. Okay. And I think that's it. So we are going to allow these awesome panel to pimp their stuff. I'll pimp Warrior stuff since he had to go, or he's got work and real life. If you want to check out Warrior, go to him on YouTube. Warrior Presents, longtime content creator. Please check his stuff there, and also on Twitch, just Warrior. You can find the links for his stuff there. I think it's at Warrior Present, or is it just Warrior? I don't have my Twitch up in front of me right now, but you can go check him out there as well. Galactic Legend Heinze, where can folks check you out, you Muppet?
Yeah, Galactic Legend Heinze on Twitch and just Heinze on YouTube. We'll be doing Rogue Actions that should drop on Monday morning US, and then we'll be back live with some more GAC action on Thursday morning US. I think it is around 9 a.m. Eastern. Yeah, and then Gridsy session on the weekend.
Gotcha. Calvin, who is awesome.
I stream my GC battles primarily. I do that at 6 p.m. on Sunday and Wednesday, and then around 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday. Yes, that's the thing.
And what's the channel?
Calvin_awesome.
There you go. Loki, anything going on in your life there, sexy Buddha, other than we're doing?
No, man. I think we're just waiting for that freaking 5v5 to start. I have no idea what I'm gonna do. I don't think anybody knows what to do yet.
I don't know,
with all these changes and the new GL and executor and all that. So I mean, it's kind of, CG does that, and they just drop everything at once, and then here's 5v5, go for it, and it's like, wow. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not looking forward to it, and but yeah, I mean, I didn't stream my GACs, because of the holidays, last week, but yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back on the train again and doing it, because I think it's a new season now, Ranger, for GAC Center. Yeah, so fresh start for everybody, and it should be fun, man. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, the RSG boys represented well. I think I finished 5th or 6th. I could have done better, but you know how I treat my GACs. I'm competitive, but it's like, I think I finished 31-5, and 3 of them I should have easily won, but we were being silly. 2 were legit, like, God damn it, I derped. But the other 3, I was like, you know what? Let's try Mon Mothma against Palpatine. This should go well. It did not go well. Start off well, and boy. So, but yeah, you can check that out as well. And congrats to everybody in the GA Center, all the fighters and stuff. We did lose a lot of content creators this week, though. Man, I couldn't believe how many people like Indigo and DB Official and just a lot of content creators are hanging it up. So. Some are still playing the game, most are not. They've dropped the game. So I was a little shocked to see the number of people. It was like 5 or 6 that are done, and I think out of 2 of those, I think DB Official is still going to play, but like very casual, he's just not doing competitive GAC. He's not streaming, he's hanging it up. So big shout out to all those folks. So with that, you're watching this here on RSG. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. If you'd like to support the channel, I said you can become a Patreon sponsor, super chats, or we're on Twitch, because you can check us here on YouTube and on Twitch. I have lots of content, not just SWGOH, but other stuff. I've got Dungeons and Dragons, which I'll be doing tonight. You can check that out at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. We have our big D&D stream. And then Monday through Friday, I do the lunch stream. We have the big Wednesday night stream, the longest running live stream in the community. Of course, we do the Jedi Academy, which you guys are seeing here right now. So hit a thumbs up, subscribe, all that stuff. You can support the channel. Do me another favor, and please go check out these other great content creators. They come here on their day off, and they're giving up their free time to answer your questions. The least you can do is at least go visit their sites, watch some videos. If you like it, stay there, subscribe, do all that good stuff. I'm not going to tell you just to subscribe, but at least support them. Watch a video too, hit a thumbs up. It all matters, and it really does make a big deal. Make a big difference for that. So that's the best way you can say thank you for these guys being here, and I would be most appreciative if you did. With that, we are going to sign off. So on behalf of myself and the panel, thank you guys for joining us on this Jedi Academy. Be safe. We love you guys.